搬家就是很多东西要整理，那些存了很久没有用的，我就要舍弃了，不然就是送给我的佣人，给他寄回去他的国家。我最迟8月8号就要把锁匙交给新的owner。这箱子是小虎的珍藏品，也是我要带着去新家。Mom's Mark， 我记得是母亲节他买给我的，我们一起去 shopping， 他就说妈咪我要买给你，我就讲你买给我你有钱吗？他说有，他就把钱掏出来了，他讲说 I love you mom and I'm sorry your other kids aren't as awesome as me。Paul 就是很爱开这种的一个很温馨的玩笑。他的手机，我有时觉得说，看不看这个手机里面的内容，可是有时看了我就蛮伤心的。他的 email 我是没有办法进去了，我就看一下里面的照片，他有很多很英俊的照片，所以这些我就看多一点。那时他应该是3岁吧，3岁所拍的一个照片，是个很 candy shot。小虎是我最大的儿子。
哒哒 ，Alisman finally， my face。Finally Alisman。
A boy to me。
去世的时候他才23岁。去世的那一天是6月5号，2021年。Because it's a Facebook live video. Woo, mommy.
林立慧和儿子高小虎曾经历重大的家庭事故，后来小虎逐渐显现失眠和一紧张就肠胃不适等等跟焦虑相关的症状。
它不算是 depression， 它是 more on anxiety disorder， 还有adjustment disorder。1 week before Mother's Day 他是要给我那个assurance that 妈咪我 actually 我 OK 了，你不需要担心我，我已经知道说我当了兵出来之后我要做些什么。他给我那个感觉是他已经成熟了，我就很欣慰。星期五晚上，他就跟我说我出去走走一下，过后他就回来吃晚饭。我还问他说沙煲饭好不好吃？他就说很不错，可是他比较喜欢我煮的汤。那时候他的弟弟要写一个 email， 哥哥就 volunteer 说 OK， 我帮你做这个 email。晚上大概10点，我就跟他们说晚安，我就去睡觉了。12点多吧，弟弟看到他的哥哥站在看出去外面，好像在思考很多东西。我们在我们家里的 CCTV 就看到他1点多离开家里。早上6点的时候，我们家里的小狗就吠得很大声。2个警察在门口，他们就问这个是不是Paul Cole 的家？ 当警察跟我说他们要进来看他的房间的时候，我的预感就很不好了，我就知道一定是有事情发生了。我就问了那个女警员，我说我的孩子还在吗？我孩子还活着吗？她的回答是，你的孩子已经走了。我就放声大哭。那最后一个星期，他要求要见他的辅导员，所以这些举动我都认为他是在 reach out for help， 不是那么绝望。我觉得我不配做一个妈妈，我救不到我的儿子，为什么我没有看到？为什么他在那个绝望的时候，他没有来找我？是不是他认为我帮不了他？他是生气我？很多疑问，完全没有答案。
青少年如果曾经试探自杀过，他们会设法把下一次做得更成功。我们不要让他们有一次也不要，念头也不要。
本地几所大专学府设有危机生命线，由临床心理学家陈端林博士负责在夜间接听电话。自杀高危时段是凌晨1点到4点。
Can you stay on the line？ 他们就不能入眠。晚上很沉静的时候，他们想法在他脑海里面就会很大声。Okay, where are you now, my dear？ 通常不能控制的那个想法是，我觉得人生对我非常不公平，或者我没有用。我们头脑是很强的，对吗？在辅导当中，我们会用一个 stop 的方式，就是 stop the thought。你知道你想到的时候，就把这一个想法割断。
When I was younger, I think there was a general sense of I wanted to be happy. It didn't turn out the way that I thought it would. My name is Art Dimitri. I am 18 years old. When I was at my lowest point, everywhere felt like both a scrapyard and a noisy room at the same time. Just screaming to find a way to take my life.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Empathy 2025. Yeah. This is a night that is all about celebrating you.
Art 目前在理工学院念书，当年自杀未遂，他被转介到青少年支援机构 Impart， 现在他是机构的义工。
Being on stage is appealing to me because I used to be very attention craving, right? And I always sought attention from as many people as possible.
小时候家庭关系不和睦 ，Art 常觉得孤独和自卑，他将情绪隐藏起来，转而迷上了电玩，希望在虚拟世界得到现实中所没有的瞩目和肯定。
我第一次看到二的时候，他没有好好照顾自己的卫生啊，有时候会自言自语，不会跟好像也不会主动的去跟别人家接触。
You are next, Jotaro. Bring it on. Secret weapon.
When I was younger, I had a lot of self-esteem issues, a feeling that nobody really talks to me because they want to.
No fun lah. This anime is too old.
Yeah lah, can stop or not?
My hand pain, film so long.
Eh, let's go.
Yeah, I felt that happiness couldn't be found within. I felt that I had to look for it from other people.
Hey, how's your science project? You've been stuck for so long already. Listen. Okay, I have a few great ideas.
No!
Whenever I'm around my friends, I try to help them with what they are going through. It's also a way for me to distract myself from what I am feeling.
Please lah, Art. You keep quiet. We happy, okay?
I can help. Sigma boy. Shh. I'm asking Boon, not you.
I was trying to escape from this sense of uselessness that I feel. Time and time again, I have proven that I'm not someone who has value. I feel like I have no value. In 2022, where a few of my friendships were loose. When I'm alone, a lot of my thoughts tend to be very unhelpful in my own mental space.
Boy, lucky you helped me. Do you want more food later?
I'm helping my friends, I'm helping my family. I still feel that no matter what I did, I didn't deserve good things.
Boy, what do you want to eat, huh?
Any positive deed that's towards me isn't something that's right. These thoughts are irrational. But they're still there, they still exist, and it definitely does get to me.
Sigma boy.
You keep quiet. We happy, okay?
The day I attempted was a pretty mundane day. I was in concert band in secondary school. Right? We ended at about 5:30. I felt so lonely. I felt this immense rush of me just screaming to find a way to take my life. Deafeningly loud. I couldn't hear myself think anything except for these thoughts.
Stop thinking of why this, why that. Whatever you do, pointless, useless, totally wasted. What is the point? I want to harm myself. You want to tell your family. What? What can your family do? I don't care lah.
It hits me like a train. These thoughts, they got more specific. Instead of take my life, instead jump off that parapet right now. Sorry. My first thought was, why didn't I die? I mean, the next thought afterwards was like, oh, my back, you know. And I remember thinking, oh, my mom's gonna kill me. I didn't die from that. It was such an inconvenience to everyone else.
自3年前在鬼门关走一回 ，Art 被转介到青少年支援机构接受辅导。现在情况稳定的他，转而陪伴其他新加入的青少年。
Impart has helped me grow over the years, teach me techniques to get me out of that headspace.
There was this one program where he learned about coping skills. They help me cope with his emotions first. So that's the start of it, because if you are always overwhelmed by emotions, it's very difficult for you to think about your future. This helps him to build a platform of stability so that he can grow.
So it's just 3 of you. You guys can go for like a 5-minute break.
As he start learning about himself, he start growing, right? He start noticing that actually, you know, I actually enjoy talking to people. And that's when we kind of create opportunities for him. He realized that, hey, I can be different.
2021年失去儿子的林丽慧，是从今年开始才比较有办法去抑制漫无止境的哀伤。
最近我是有梦到小虎，我是需要去动一个手术。那晚我就梦见了小虎，我就看到他在那边，好像看到我，他就跟我微笑。我就坐在他对面，我说：“小虎，你可以不要走吗？”动完手术之后，我又梦到了他。这次我问的更加贴切，因为这次是我抓住他的手臂，我问他，我说：“你可以不要走吗？”他还是一样跟我微笑，然后他就用他的手把我的手给挪开了，意思是说我不能挽住他，我不能挽留他，因为在梦里就好像天堂这样很亮。我觉得很安慰的是，我的儿子是开心的。
妈妈们有一个互助团体，主持团体分享的是陈端林博士。
So how is it for you when you went through the Paul's birthday?
My birthday and Paul's birthday just 1 day apart, so I have been like running away for the past few years. This year I stay in Singapore. Facebook will always show you a lot of memories.
他们会分享他们的痛，分享他们的开心，泪里带笑吧。虽然说他们的痛不会离开他们，可是他们的生命还是在继续的。他们知道人生还是有其他的目标，他们也会慢慢的一天过一天去做。
我还有我的2个孩子，我还要为他们活下去。
丽慧的小儿子在服兵役，他还有一个患轻微自闭症的女儿，每天出门上班做文书的工作。
我想到我哥哥 ，I miss him, I miss my brother. Then 我哭多一点，突然哭多一点，也是没办法。从小啊，我有问题啊，第一个人我先去找是哥哥，但是哥哥没了，所以我找谁？
小虎对他的妹妹是很有爱心。然后我看到他的一个 interview， 他有讲到他对他妹妹的期望。
Just wish for my sister to be healthy, happy, and also if she has a chance to slowly grow up, become a young woman and get a job, and maybe find a boyfriend.
他希望他妹妹的像个普通人这样，我自己就要实现 Paul 的这个愿望。之前我是很保护 Gloria， 慢慢的我就放开给 Gloria 自己坐巴士，他自己走路回家。我们看到他蛮小心的，走路蛮小心的。因为我女儿她有个习惯，就是喜欢玩她的手机，所以我们最重要就是她走路的时候不可以玩手机。
Art 有一群好朋友，在他企图轻生的时期，始终陪着他。他们现在更自觉地为他着想。
Oh, you girls, Asri, siap lah. We cannot use the footage anymore.
Even until now, I like just can't help but feel like maybe is he like really doing okay? Is he like, you know, not having these thoughts anymore? I like a bit more cautious lah, how I want to approach him and the jokes I want to make.
他有时候讲得好像很认真啊，我很笨啊，我们就会说，你不是这样的，你只是这时候做可能一个笨的东西，不是你笨。
Very best hotel. Dog, right?
We joke around a lot, but over time the joke shift from bad talk to good talk. You know, like we joke and then we end it with like, why my friends are so good. It's not fair. something like that.
So it's definitely a big brother role to me lah. Yeah, I love him. Like I really do. Like this goes beyond anything weird.
不好的念头其实还在，不过 Art 已不再任意被他控制，他也将学习对自己更好。
I don't think I'm at the point where I can say that I actively love myself, right? But I don't see that as I hate myself anymore. Creating is my safe space because it just helps me channel what's positive inside me outside. It helps me like direct a little bit of positivity inside of me into what I make, which I think is beautiful lah. Yeah.
经常他们打字的时候，或者传简讯的时候，就会用 KMS kill myself，you know， 就用这些话，就是觉得很时髦，或者觉得我用这个表达方式来跟你们说我不大喜欢，或者我觉得很烦，我们就会在可能1、2次就是教他们，如果你觉得烦的话，你可以用其他的方式来表达，不需要用这个方式来表达。